Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and we've got another cool knife to do a review of tonight. This is the Vero Engineering Avid 1, and this is the first knife for Vero Engineering that starts under $200, so it's more of a budget or a less of a expensive option. I won't say it's a budget option; it's a less expensive option, and but we'll talk about it some of that later on in the review. Let's go ahead and get out our handy dandy measuring utensil and look at the blade length. We're looking at approximately just a tad over 3¼ inches is what I'm getting here, and right at 7½ inches overall. Let's see, got a scale here. We'll take a look at the weight. Get that on and let it tear out, and look at it, and you're looking at about 5 ounces. So not super light, but again, this is the titanium version, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. All right, let's look at it compared to some other knives that you may be familiar with. This is the CJRB Pyrite. This is the QSP Penguin. So you see the Avid 1 is going to be larger than both of those. Let's look now at the Miguron Montreal, and that's going to be more along the lines of the same length. We've got a Vostede Vostede Acorn there. Let's look now at the Kaiser Militao. The Militao is going to be a bit larger, and here's the Ozark Trail, about the same size lengthwise as the Ozark Trail, although the Avid 1 is noticeably taller there. All right, and then last we have the Spyderco PM2, and we also have a Benchmade 940. That's the Osborne. All right, let's look at the thickness of this knife. Set that to the side there, and take a look at the thickness. It's not a thin boy. This is it is against the PM2. Let's look against the Miguron Montreal, and the Avid 1's a little bit thicker than the Montreal. Here's another thick one. This is the Militao, and as you can see, it's thicker than the Militao. So it's got some heft to it. All right. In pocket, let's take a look how it's going to look in pocket. Fairly, as I mentioned before, fairly tall. Not near as tall as, say, your PM2, but about as tall as that Militao. Probably about as tall as maybe not quite as tall as the Montreal. So that gives you an idea there. Blade steel on this is, let's see if it's written on the blade. I don't believe it is. But the blade steel is, from what I understand, CPM S45VN. This one is the hand rub satin version, so you can see how cool that looks. Now, the blade is fairly sterile. Well, the blade itself is sterile. You've got the number of the knife there on that part of the blade. And then on the spine, you've got the Vero. So there's that. Otherwise, really clean. It's got a wire clip. That wire clip works just fine. Let's go ahead and pull out a pair of pants and set that there and show you what it looks like in pocket. Some folks don't like wire clips, but they tend to work just fine. Don't cause a lot of issues trying to get a knife in and out of your pocket. It's fairly deep. You're only seeing just a little bit of that knife up above that, so not bad at all. All right, lanyard hole. There is no lanyard hole on this. You do have a full backspacer, goes up the entire length of the knife almost, and it does stick a little proud here. No jimping on there. There is some jimping here on the flipper. You got a flipper right here, so there's a little bit of jimping there, and there's a little bit of jimping right there on that front flipper. So opening methods, we'll go ahead and talk about that. We've got the flipper here that works just fine. It does stick out a little bit funny there, but it works just fine. Reverse flick in that those opening pockets there works just fine as well. You can slow roll this, probably easily thumb flick it. Ooh, and I almost dropped the knife. I was going to say that while there is a front flipper here, it is not the easiest opening method. Does it work? Yeah, it works. You've seen me open it a few times that way. But the easier way to do that is actually to push up instead of trying to pull this. So you actually push your thumb out that way, or this way, and that seems to work. But it is not the easiest opening method. Okay. Price on this, well, they start out under 200. I think about 180 something for the base version, and then it goes up from there. I think with the hand rub satin and the titanium scales, it's going to be a little bit over 300. But again, what I was saying on this Avid one, this is Vero's less expensive option, allowing more people to be able to experience their knives. So they started out on a less than 200, which is pretty good because a lot of their knives base prices are over $300. So not a bad way to go. Starting at 180. Is it going to be for everybody? No. Is it a very cool knife? It actually is. Is it one that I would have in my collection? I think I like the Synapse better. If I'm just being perfectly clear on that, I think I like the Synapse and probably the Axon and some of the others a little bit better than this. Detemp is perfectly fine, especially for the reverse flick, and also for that back flipper there. Not so much for the front flipper. No, I'm going to tear my hand up doing that. So for most of the opening methods, that detent's just fine. Lockup blade play, nothing side to side. But I have disassembled and cleaned this one. You can check that out if you care to see the internals of this knife. Scale material, of course, as I mentioned on this one, is titanium. Is it a cool knife? As I mentioned, absolutely. Fits in pocket just fine. The edges here are smooth. This knife actually won Import Knife of the Year at Blade Show for 2025, if it tells you anything about the knife. So is it cool? Absolutely. Is it one that I would get? Probably not. I like some of the other versions better. But let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this knife? Is it something that you want to get, that you already have maybe? Let me know. And if while you're down there commenting, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. Hope to see y'all again soon. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you so much for watching.